Okay, so you guys seem to have a personal vendetta against death runs or something? Because, okay, I get it. You don't want to see death run mechanics. I get it, okay? Okay, starting in, we have something that will make your life so much easier and will cut you so much time from making maps. And that is by simply changing some settings. Okay, so what you want to do, you want to go into My Island and then you want to do game settings. The first thing that you want to change, and that is the first thing that you should always do, is change the spawn location to current location. What that will do is, if you start a game to test something out, like for example this trigger pad right here, you will immediately spawn at this location, which is great. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go to My Island again, and then you want to change the post-game spawn location. So what that will do is, after you finish the game, you will spawn at the island start. And if you do not have any island starts or whatever, you will spawn in the sky, which is kind of annoying. So you will spawn in the sky, you waste so much time for this, so change it to pre-game location. The next thing you want to do is you want to change the game start countdown to 0, and then you want to go to UI and change everything that is game winner display to don't show. If you turned everything to don't show, you can actually try out how fast this now is to test something out. So we want to test out if this trigger is actually enabling this barrier. So let's see, start game. Game is starting, which is good. We're immediately spawning here. We can test out. Okay, it's working fine. We can end the game. And we're back. That was like a couple seconds, like 10 seconds or so. Which usually if we go back and then we gonna turn on restore all defaults. Let's turn that off and that again. And then we try it again. So first of all, we don't have a spawn pad yet, so we're gonna spawn in this guy, which is kind of taking long. We already have the countdown timer. So we're gonna have to dive down, and then we have to wait till we land, which takes forever. Then we have to activate the trigger. We can see how it works. We can end the game, and we have to see the victory screen. We also have to see the return to island, and it takes just time. And if you do this like 50 times, you also spawn back in the sky, which is also kind of annoying. So you can see you can really cut down on the time if you just want to test simple things. Okay, so the next one, I'll show you guys how you can make boring looking terrain into very cool looking terrain. But first of all, you know that if you subscribe to me, you actually gain very large brain. And I see only 8% of you have actually subscribed to me, so that's kind of crazy. And you know what to do, and let's move on. Everybody knows that we have terrain in Fortnite. That is nothing new, that is special. You can, make very cool stuff with it. But did you also know that you could like really make really cool mountains and really cool looking designs of mountains if you just take pieces and rotate them around? So you can see right here that I just rotated some pieces, and actually just one piece, and made a cool mountain out of it. And obviously you can really go very custom with this and make insane mountains and insane landscapes. Also, if you're looking for some inspiration or some mini tutorials on that stuff, you can go and check out Chase Jackman on Twitter. He is actually one of the best landscape creators out there. So really leave him a follow and check him out. He really does some mini tutorials and some really cool stuff. And really shows you the limits, or that there are actually no limits to, creating stuff in Fortnite. Okay, so for the next one, I'll show you guys how you can make your map super dark. I know I already did a tutorial on this, but I kind of want to rewrap it and make it a little bit shorter, so we're going to put that in that video. So, obviously the first step to do is actually turn on nighttime. You can do that by going to time of day and then change it to 10 p.m. or something. And then what you want to do is you want to turn down the light brightness. You can put that to 0% or whatever preferred, but 0% is obviously the darkest. And this looks quite decent right now. One thing which you can also do is turn on fog. So this one is different because it depends on you if you actually want to have full darkness. Because if you turn on fog on 100% and then change the color to dark, you can, or to black, you can see that you can actually not see anything. Even if you equip yourself with a flashlight, you can see that you have barely anything to see. And you might want that effect depending on how much horror you want in your map. But if you want to have some like lighting in or some houses in the background or whatever, this is probably not the option for you. Okay, what you can do instead is obviously turn back the fog thickness and fog color to default, and then go into the camera filter and change that one to low exposure. That one will give you an actually quite dark atmosphere effect, but we can turn that down even further. One thing which is kind of sad about this one is that it actually only works for PC players. but I'm pretty sure that with the new consoles coming out, this is probably also an option for, you know, the consoles. So if you turn on post-processing to low, you can actually see that you get quite a bit of darkness. This could be quite nice for cinematics, or if you tell your players to turn it on post-processing, you can still see stuff in the background, and you know, it is still very dark. So keep that in mind if you create stuff. So the last one has everything to do with, you know, creating round buildings and creating round, you know, objects in general. There are two versions. There's an easy version and a very cheap version, I would say, which kind of creates stuff like this, where the inside looks really nice and then the outside looks kind of like, I don't know, very artistic. I mean, you can use this still and it works, but obviously if you want to go for a perfect round look, you have to do something different. But first of all, the easy version. So what you want to do is you want to place them two walls and whatever size you want to have them, and then you want to copy and paste them both, and then you want to look for the anchor point. If you click here, you can see that somewhere here is the anchor point down there. You can see that little point, and you want to go there as close as possible, so that will kind of ensure that your worlds not, you know, kind of start floating out of a sudden. So you can see they're now kind of exactly there where I want them. And then you want to start turning them and placing them. And what that will obviously do is you kind of create some really cool circle, which kind of looks out from the outside, but is perfectly fine from the inside. But obviously there's always a harder way, and most likely the harder way is the way that you're actually looking for. So what you want to do is you want to start off by placing down a ring from the ring gallery. If you have done that, you start shaping the worlds around the ring. So what you want to do is create the half of the circle, then copy and paste this half and flip it around. Then you only have to adjust the corners, and then you can easily copy and paste the whole thing and just stack it on each other and create some really cool towers or whatever you want to do with this. So that's been it for the video. Also, let me know what you want to see. If you want to see mechanics, if you want to see some top 5 maps or whatever, let me know in the comments. I'm open for everything that has to do with creative, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.